sure, there's probably some Republicans who are anti-science or whatever, but the scientific institution of pharma, that's an institution we don't trust.
Yep.
And you can understand where that distrust comes from, and maybe you can meet them halfway on that.
And you have to
understand why they feel that way.
And there are Democrats that have shown like amazing distrust towards it. Like Bernie has been rallying against it for years.
Yeah.
I mean, if pharma is easy for Democrats, like every Democrats have been fighting for years, and finally the Inflation Reduction Act got some of it in, like driving down pharmaceutical drug prices and Medicare. Democrats they find it easy on pharma. The question is more, I don't know how to describe it. It's like the Democratic Party, the other thing that's happened is become a very educated party. Yeah. And the Republican Party has become like the party that wins most people who graduated high school. Democrats win most people graduated college. And like this really shifted the parties. Like people graduate college are like more yoked into American institutions. They believe in them more, in part because those institutions have worked better for them.
That's a great
right?
fucking way to say it.
Give a great example about how those institutions are working for the college educated and against the high school educated.
Well, like just take COVID.
Yeah.
Right? You're like a white collar office worker.
Yeah.
There's lockdown, you're like sent home. And then we have these like quote unquote essential workers who we call essential, but like we're putting them out in harm's way, but also we've made like their jobs much, much harder. Yeah. Like they're having to wear all this kind of protective gear. And there were reasons for everything. I mean, some we now know in retrospect, like we're bad at, you're going to have mistakes.
Hindsight's 2020.
Right? Hindsight is 2020. So I'm always very careful about this. But it just worked really differently. People experienced very different COVIDs, depending on whether you were like a college graduate who worked from home, or you were like out there like being pushed in, but also having to like undergo all these new rules. But also just the economy works differently for different people. If you're a high school graduate,
most jobs don't even hire without a college graduate, without a degree.
Or like you've got terrible like just-in-time scheduling, and then somebody telling you like, no, don't worry, GDP's up this year. Like that's bullshit for you. It's not up for you.
It doesn't affect you at all.
Oh, the stock market is up great. I don't own a single stock.
It's the worst statistic to decide if America is doing well.
Yeah. So you can come up with all kinds of versions of these, but just a party that is getting richer and more college educated is going to be more comfortable with the way things work than a party that is shifting the other direction. And feeling now there's still contradictions in these parties, right? I mean, Republicans just passed a giant bill cutting functionally $5 trillion of taxes, heavily tilted towards rich people. And the only part of it they paid for, which is like about $1 trillion, they paid for by cutting Medicaid, SNAP, which is food stamps, and like green energy investment, right? So the Republican Party has not actually become a populist party, but it has a populist affect. And now Trump is like running into the wall of that affect, right? They fed it. They voiced it themselves, and now it is them. They are the system. And all of a sudden they're like, no, trust the institutions. Trust the FBI and the DOJ.
You told us not to trust them.
Yes, you told us it was all deep state to trust nobody.
You're going to drain the swamp.
And now you're like, trust us. This is all a radical leftist plot. And you're like bread and circusing us with like AI videos of Barack Obama getting, I'm always amazed, to me, like at how much disrespect Trump often shows for the people who believe in him.
This is the opportunity, I think, for Democrats right now. And I think you I think you're voicing it in like a really brilliant way, which is everything that Trump, I won't say everything, but a lot of the things that Trump have done reinforce the institutions that he was so critical of, right? He's continuing the wars. He's like, I'm going to stop the wars day one, continuing to fund them. He's not releasing the Epstein files. He's increasing the budget. So the base that was promised these things, and now he has unilateral support. Like he can go take Congress, he can do whatever he wants. He's choosing not to do these things, and these are a choice. The base is furious about this. How do Democrats come in and seize that?
I mean, I think they're doing a pretty damn good job, actually. Like the ones who came in and said, we are offering legislation to force these files to release.
I love what Roe did.
And we're going to build a coalition.
I love it.
And like Roe, he's a very liberal guy, very progressive. I mean, a co-chair of the Bernie Sanders campaign a couple years ago. He's good at building bipartisan coalitions, like on foreign policy, right? On things like whether or not Congress has like power over war. Roe is good at working across the aisle. He's a very, very talented politician.
And because of that,
so they're doing a good job on that.
But because of that, the Democratic establishment hates him.
I don't think they hate Roe.
I think Roe thinks they do. We had Roe on, and he was like, I get so much criticism. They don't want to support what I'm doing. This happens all the time. And I think he's operating on an island. And I think that this is a problem. because I think the Democrats are fighting the institutionalists within the party, and the real support, like the ground support you feel, is for the more progressive side of the party, which seems to be answering a lot of the problems that the people that maybe voted for Trump have.
I will say, if you spend, I don't want to discount any experiences Rose had or the congressman has had. I will say, if you spend a lot of time talking to members of Congress in the Senate, and I do, they all think the leadership doesn't support them. Like, not literally all of them, but
It's a common refrain.
it's a very common, because
What I mean by this is like there haven't been, actually I don't know if this is true to this day, but like Zoran wins
Yes.
the primary.
that's a different
single Democrat
That's a different
has
case.
endorsed him. Not a single Democrat within
Jerry
the
Nadler endorsed him.
What is he? Is he
Jerry
comptroller?
Nadler is like the dean of the New York congressional delegation.
Got it.
It is true. I don't know if it's changed by now.
Okay, maybe not
That
a single-
Schumer and Jeffries like kept their distance.
Right.
I don't know if they've changed where they are now.
And I would say that Schumer and Jeffries kind of represent the institutional Democrats.
Yes,
system
that is
that
fair.
you're
The system
Yes,
Democrats.
that
So it
is fair.
seems like the
Hakeem
system.
Jeffries still hasn't backed him yet.
Yeah.
Jeffries hasn't backed him, right? So it seems like, I think, at least for the people, that the system wants to maintain the status quo, as you said before, is not down for reform, but the people want reform. And the people are optimistic about reform without really understanding if these policies that Zoran has can work.
Well, here's what Schumer and Jeffries are thinking. We could talk about Mamdani, who I like in a bunch of different ways, but they're terrified, not of New York City or what's going to happen here. They are worried about trying to win Senate seats in Kansas City, when, because of the dynamics of the like attentional economy, the only Democrat whose name people know is Zoran Mamdani.
So
Right.
they think that the Zoran Mamdani policy will engulf the Democratic Party.
No, it's not the policy. That's not their concern, but the vibe and the weaknesses.
The reform
right?
direction, I guess.
No, I wouldn't call it the reform. Like, this happened with AOC, but it happens with Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? I do not think AOC and Marjorie Taylor Greene are the same by any means, but the parties tend to get defined by the
Loudest and
loudest
most
or
extreme
most
voices.
interesting figures
Yep.
in them.
Yep.
And one of the dynamics that is very hard for party leadership now is that they have very little control compared to what they used to have over how their party is seen. Right? So Jeffries and Schumer have their strategies. They would like to have the Democratic Party understood as being about certain things and not about other things. But instead, the thing people know is they see who's going viral on X or TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and it's not the people they would choose, right? Saying the things that they would say. Like, the last thing Schumer and Jeffries want to talk about is the value of the term globalize the intifada, right?
Yeah.
They just do not want to talk about that at all. And the problem for them with Mamdani is that he creates that conversation. I was just watching a speech J.D. Vance gave, the vice president at the Claremont Institute, which...
What is the Claremont Institute?
Claremont
for
Institute
everybody
is a sort of far-right think tank. They were giving him the Statesman Award. And I would love to talk about the speech, which I just did, which I'm having a piece come out on, because it's very much about what citizenship should be about. But the entire first section and end of that speech that Vance gives are about Mamdani, right? He wants to define the entire Democratic Party, the entire left around Mamdani. To Vance, Mamdani is a soft target.
This is what...
Right? And that's the fight those figures are having
This is what I think
along each other.
This is what I think Republicans do really well. Is they exploit the most extreme version of Democrats and then they paint it across the whole party. So in this last election, like, the most effective ad was Trump is for me and you and Kamala is for they, them. And there was that ad about, like, Kamala supports, like, trans surgeries for inmates.
Yeah.
Like, you remember this ad that they ran? I think they ran in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it was they did a great job of painting the party in one light, and it was based on the most extreme version. And I think Democrats maybe try to do it, and maybe Republicans are like, yeah, we're cool with that too. Like, I don't know what that is, but it does feel like the institution is like fighting tooth and nail to stop the perception of the party changing. But here's the reality. If the people want that part of the party, there's nothing you can do about that in democracy. And fighting it makes those people feel like you don't want that change that they desperately want. And now you become the status quo that they are fighting against. So they don't really have a choice. It's like democracy for better or for worse. Zoran's going to, if the people want Zoran, whether we like it or not, if the majority of New Yorkers want it, we have to let that happen. If it goes horribly, and we can go into some of those policies and if he'll even be able to do them. But like, you cannot restrict what the people want in a democracy. And if you do try, which is what Trump is also doing,
January 6th,
they'll be furious. They'll be furious about it. And his base is furious. Democrats are furious. And I fear that's kind of what's happening with Zoran.